Good morning, students. Welcome to your geography class. I hope all of you are well. Today, we will discuss the second topic of this chapter, minerals and energy resource. Yesterday, we discussed about definition of mineral, from where we can get it. So, before starting today's topic, as you can see, ferrous minerals, you have a one small paragraph over here where we get to know the difference between the deposit or reservoir and mine. So as we know, the reservoirs, they are having all type of minerals and rocks, and most of the minerals or rocks we are getting it from, we call it reservoir. But the reservoirs, when they are having an economical value, then we call it a mine. You all of you heard about coal mine. Okay, coal mine is a very famous thing, right? We all heard about it. So when we call the reservoir as a mine, now when the reservoirs having an economical value and we can access to that reservoir, we can use it and it provides us an economical value, we call it mine. So to meet the demand, a choice has to be made between the number of possible options. When it is done, a mineral deposit reservoir turns into a mine. So when the reservoir or deposit can access and we can use it and having an economical value turns into mine. So every single mine is a reservoir, but every single reservoir is not mine, because before this topic we all learn about the stock resource. If you remember, we learned about stock resource and reserve resource, where we discussed that there are so many resources still we have in our environment which we can't access still due to technical reason, and of course due to some other reasons as well. So all the reservoirs are having different types of rocks and minerals in it, but until unless we access to that reservoir, we can use it and it's going to provide us some economical value, we can't call it mine. So every single mine is a reservoir, but every single reservoir is not mine. Okay, so as you can see, today we will discuss the first type of minerals, which is ferrous mineral. So ferrous minerals account for 3/4 of the total value of the production of metallic mineral. So the minerals that we have, or we can have it from the environment, 3/4 of the total production is metallic mineral, is ferrous mineral. Now they provide a strong base for the development of metallurgical industries. Why ferrous minerals are so much in demand? Why 3/4 of the production is basically ferrous minerals? Because this ferrous minerals provide us a strong base, and for the development of the industry we require this base. So as you can see, first we will talk about the iron ore. So iron, as we all know, is the basic mineral and the backbone for all industrial development. Okay, from a small watch to a big car, we required iron, we required machine to made it. Yes, so iron ore is the basic mineral and the backbone of the industrial development. India is endowed with fairly abundant resources of iron ore. India is rich in good quality of iron ores. Magnetite is the finest iron ore with a high content of iron, up to 70%. So now we have different types of iron in the whole world. According to the quality of iron, we can categorize it. So first we have magnetite. It is the finest type of iron with a very high quality and high content of iron in it, which is 70%. It has excellent magnetic qualities, especially valuable in the electronic industries. So first, the best quality of iron which we have, magnetite, because it is a high content of iron, which is 70%, and it is of excellent magnetic qualities. So this type of magnetite iron specifically used in electrical industries. But this type of iron is very much limited in the whole world. Next type of iron which we have, hematite. Hematite ore is the most important industrial iron ore in terms of the quantity it used, but it has slightly lower iron content than the magnetite. As I said, magnetite is a very limited resource that we have in our environment. So hematite is the second most important iron ore in the industrial sector due to its quantity. So we get hematite in a large quantity, and which is almost consisting of 50 to 60% of the iron. So in industrial sector, most of the industrial sector are using hematite for their different reason. So now we will discuss, after knowing the category of iron, we discuss the major iron ore belt in India. Okay, we have some major iron ore belt in India from where we are getting basically our iron for different industrial sector. It can be electrical industry, it can be iron and steel industry, it can be anything. Okay, so first, the most important one, a major one, is Odisha Jharkhand belt. So in Odisha, high grade hematite ore is found in Badampahar mine in the Mayurbhanj and Kenduhar district. So this is the place from Odisha, which is Badampahar mine in the Mayurbhanj and Kenduhar district. In the adjoining Shingbhum district of Jharkhand, hematite iron is the mine in Gua and Noa Mundi. So these are some place or region from Odisha and Jharkhand from where we are basically getting hematite type of iron. It is Badampahar in Mayurbhanj in Odisha and Shingbhum district from Jharkhand, as well as Goa and Noa Mundi. The next and the most important iron ore belt of India is Durg, Bastar and Chanderpur iron ore belt. This lies in between Chhattisgarh and Maharashtra. So this Durg, Bastar, Chanderpur iron ore belt includes Chhattisgarh and Maharashtra. Very high grade or very high quality of hematite found in this region. That's why Durg, Bastar and Chanderpur region is the most important one, because here we have very high quality type of hematite. Bilatila range of hills in Bastar district of Chhattisgarh. The range of hills comprise of 14 deposit of super high grade hematite iron ore. So you can see maximum number of iron ore within one iron ore belt which we are getting from Durg, Bastar and Chanderpur. And the very famous iron ore mine is Bilatila range of the hills of Bastar district of Chhattisgarh. Within this belt we have total 14 deposits. Okay, so we have total 14 deposits, and as you can see we are getting it hematite, a good quality of hematite iron from here. It is the best physical properties needed for steel making. As I said, iron and steel industries. Iron ore from these mines are exported also in Japan and South Korea via Vishakhapatnam. So not only the iron ore that we have in our country, we are using for different reasons, especially in iron and steel industry, in electrical industry, etc. Also we export these iron ore to different countries where they don't have, okay, like Japan and South Korea via Vishakhapatnam port. So that's why Durg, Bastar Chanderpur belt is the most important iron ore belt in India. Next iron ore belt we have Bellary, Chittadurga, Chikmagalur and Tumkur. These are some regions which we have in southern part of India, which is Bellary, Chittadgarh, Chikmagalur and Tumkur. These regions belongs to Karnataka. In Karnataka state we have this belt. The Kudirmukh, okay, the Kudirmukh mine is a very famous iron ore mine in whole India, especially in Karnataka. So the Kudirmukh mine located in Western Ghat of Karnataka, and this is 100% export unit. Not a single gram from this Kudirmukh mines we are using in India. 100% we of this mine we are exporting to different countries. So Kudirmukh deposits are known to be the one of the largest in the world. Why this is very much famous Kudirmukh iron ore mine? Because it is having a good quality of iron, as well as it's the largest one in the whole world. So the ore transported a slurry through the pipeline to port near Mangalore. So we are not sending the solid version of iron through these to different countries from Mangalore port. What we are doing, we are transforming this iron into a slurry of semi-liquid, and then we are through the pipelines we are exporting these iron to the through the near port Mangalore to different countries. Okay. Last iron ore that we have in India is Maharashtra Goa belt. Okay, so Maharashtra Goa belt includes the states of Goa, Ratnagiri district of Maharashtra. So it's a very simple and very small iron ore belt in our country, but it includes Goa and Maharashtra. Ratnagiri district of Maharashtra, though the ores are not very high quality. Yes, this is from this iron ore mine. We are not having a good quality of iron ore, but still, to satisfy the internal needs of our country, we are using this region's iron in different industrial sector. So iron ore is exported through Maramgaon. So Goa and Ratnagiri districts of iron ore is exported to different parts of India through the Maramgaon port. So ports are also playing a very important role to export these iron and other minerals to within our country or to different parts of the world. Okay. So this is all about the iron ore, a type of iron ore and the iron ore belts that we have in our country. Next, we will discuss about manganese. So manganese is mainly used in the manufacturing of steel and ferromanganese alloy. So not only iron we required in iron and steel industry, we also required manganese to manufacture steel and also ferromanganese alloy. Nearly 10 kg of manganese is required to manufacture 1 ton of steel. So you can see the quantity that for 1 ton of steel what we required 10 kg of manganese. It is also used in the manufacturing of bleaching powder, insecticides and paints. So it's not only manganese is not only used in steel industry, is also used in different purpose like bleaching powder making, insecticides and paints. Okay. Now in India, Odisha is the largest producer of manganese. It is accounted for 1/3 of the country's total production in 2000-2001. You have the old data in your textbook, but still Odisha is the largest producer of manganese in the whole India and accounted for 1/3 of the total production. Okay, so we discussed two ferrous minerals with you all. As you can see, iron ore and manganese. Next topic that we have, it is non-ferrous mineral. So non-ferrous minerals means basically in these minerals we don't have any type of iron. We don't have any type of iron. So India's reservoir and production of non-ferrous minerals is not very satisfactory. However, these minerals, which include copper, bauxite, lead, zinc, gold, play a vital role in the number of metallurgical, engineering and electrical industries. So not only ferrous minerals we required in industrial sector, also we require some non-ferrous minerals for different reason, and all these non-ferrous minerals also playing a very important role in industrial sector. So first, as you can see, the first non-ferrous minerals which we have is copper. Now, India is a critically deficient in the reserve and production of copper. Being malleable and decalled a good conductor, copper is mainly used in electrical cables. Okay, because it's malleable and it can control, and it's a good conductor. Basically, it's a good conductor of electricity and heat. So copper is mainly used in electrical cables, electronics and chemical industries. So in India we have critical deficit of copper reserve. We have very limited amount of copper, which is very less, but still copper, because of its characteristics, because it's a good conductor of electricity, this copper used mainly in the electrical cables, electronics and chemical industries. So the Balghat mine in Madhya Pradesh produces 52% of India's copper. In India, most percentage So, due to having the characteristics, like because it's a good conductor of copper, so it is mainly used in electrical and cables and electronic as well as in chemical industries. Now, the Balghat mine in Madhya Pradesh is the largest copper producer in India. It also includes Singhbhum district of Jharkhand and also leading producer of copper. So, Balghat mine from Madhya Pradesh having 52% of India's copper, as well as Singhbhum district of Jharkhand is also leading producer of copper. So there are two states of India, as you can see, Madhya Pradesh as well as Jharkhand, having the largest production of copper in India. The Khetri mines in Rajasthan are also very much famous. Okay, so there are total two states which have the largest production of copper. There is also Khetri mines in Rajasthan is very much famous for copper production. Next we have the bauxite. As you can see, next we have the bauxite. So though the several ore mines contain aluminium, it is from bauxite and a clay like substance. So what is the characteristic of bauxite? Basically it is a ore contain aluminium in it. It is from bauxite and a clay like substance that alumina and later aluminium is obtained. Bauxite deposits are formed by the decomposition of a wide variety of rocks rich in aluminium silicate. Okay, we know bauxite is an example of residual mass weathering. Okay, how we found it bauxite? Now due to residual mass of weathering. So because bauxite is also soluble mineral and the clay like substance, so other soluble product is eroded by the running water. Whatever left, it is aluminium and later alumina and later is aluminium, and bauxite is a deposit are basically formed by the decomposition of wide variety of rock rich in aluminium silicate. Aluminium is an important metal because it combines the strength of the metals such as iron with extreme lightness and also with a good conductivity and great malleability. So you have seen non-ferrous minerals are basically good conductor of the heat as well as the electricity. So aluminum is an important metal because it combines the strength of metals such as iron with extreme light. Is also very much light. It can provide the strength to the iron as well as very much light weighted, and it's a good conductor. Now in India, bauxite deposits are mainly found in Amarkantak Plateau, Maikalal Hills and Plateau region of Bilaspur, Katni. So these are some region of India from where we can easily get the bauxite. It is Amarkantak Plateau, Maikal Hill and the Plateau region of Bilaspur, Katni. Odisha is the largest bauxite producing state in India with 45% of country's total production in 2000 and 2001 data. So Amarkantak, if you see the map, this is the place, as you can see, Amarkantak, Katni, okay, Balghat, these are the regions from where we are getting the bauxite in India, Maikal Hill and Bilaspur Katni region. But state-wise, Odisha is the largest producer of bauxite, which is 45% of the country's total production according to 2000 and 2001 data. Now, Panchpatmali deposits in Koraput district is also most important bauxite in the state. Not only so, in Odisha, the specific region is Panchpatmali deposit, which is in this the district of Koraput, is very important as a bauxite deposit in the states. And as you have seen, the bauxite the used in steel and industrial sector just to provide the lightness to the iron, and it's a good conductivity and having a malleability. So, if you see the map, this is the region. We have the iron ore fields includes West Bengal, Jharkhand, parts of Odisha, as well as here Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra. We also have here in Goa, Ratnagiri district, also in Karnataka, Kudirmukh one. Then we have the iron ore mine, as you can see in iron ore fields area only we have the iron ore mine. Next up we have the manganese. Here, Shimoga, Goa, in Kendahar also we have some manganese mines. Bauxite we have here in Katni, Amarkantak, Bandhara, Michael Hill, Vilaspur, Koraput, etc. Okay, so these are some non-ferrous deposits that we have in our country, and all these non-ferrous minerals as well used in different industrial sector. So today we discussed about the ferrous minerals, which is iron ore and manganese. Then we discussed some of the non-ferrous minerals, which is copper and bauxite, right? So hopefully this video helps you to understand today's topic. Thank you students. Thank you for watching today's video.